Oh my God, that's amazing. There are no minute repeaters that will ever showcase diamond set behind. Usually this will end up being an empty space. I've never seen this done before.
We want to make something that's really a beautiful watch and go back to this artisanal spirit where watches were before made by watchmakers. They were given love, they were brought to life by somebody that really was paid attention to the detail.
When you reach perfection in your product, when you reach what is possible to reach, then and only then you start to touch eternity.
Jean-Claude Biver interview coming up right away, but before we do, if you don't mind, please hit that like button, subscribe button, do all those things that help this channel grow. Let's get back to the interview.
So one of our stops is a place where you get the most exclusive cheese in the world. This particular cheese is the one made by JCB, Jean-Claude Biver. So you guessed it, I'm here to look at the JCB watches. But I was the first person to say publicly, while everybody was trying to make fun of them, to say that I think the watches are amazing. Gentleman himself is an icon in the industry, so the watch that he made is a legacy timepiece. We're gonna get some hands-on in a second. I'm super excited about meeting JCB for one, sitting down looking at the watches, and of course, the most exclusive cheese in the world. I'm here with Pierre, and you're the one that's behind this entire project for the most part, right? You're the guy that runs the company, you're the guy that looks over all the designs, not to throw shadow your way because of who your father is, an icon in the industry, if you will. This is what I said right away. You don't just look at the timepiece, you look at the man behind the timepiece. And now it's your turn to shine, as they say. And I think you shined in a big way last year, but I hear this year you guys are going in a bit of a different direction. If you could tell us a little bit about that.
First of all, thank you for your kind words. I'm really more into the whole aspect of production. But yeah, as you said, this year we're presenting. So we launched last year with the 𝗙𝗰𝗲𝗄𝗏, which is sort of a grand comp, but it is, a big complication. We decided to make 50 movements. We said from the get-go this will be sort of a first edition. We didn't want to call it souscription or fundraising or whatever, because this is kind of gimmick and we try to stay away from that. But in essence, it was really rounding up 50 clients that buying a watch at that price point for a first. It's really clients that are willing to become kind of stakeholders in the company, invest, be the first ones to be there. And we wanted to create that community around us and also show our savoir-faire in terms of that we can actually produce this. And for the last 10 pieces, we decided to not remove, but you can still have it, but take off the bracelet, have a strap, puts a bit more the design focus on the case, which is very well thought through, and also have the dials which are a bit more elaborated with some guilloche, diamond indices. And the idea was to create something more of a dress watch and to refine our identity and show that within the same movement and same aesthetics, we can also produce watches that have a different feeling to them. So here you have two of them.
One thing I was mentioning to him earlier, which I really respect about some things we talked about, is even the little things you pay attention to, like how you said, like the back can be its own dial, because you look at most dials, the back just, you have little pins of where everything's placed, and it's just, even a watchmaker opens it, they're like, wow, I mean, at least pay attention to making something nice there.
From the ideas to the realization, we want to make something that's really a beautiful watch and go back to this artisanal spirit where watches were before made by watchmakers. They were given love, they were brought to life by somebody that really was paid attention to a detail. And I think that today luxury is, you have to refine more and more. Everything that's handmade, attention to detail, is obviously something that's useless. Decorating the back of the dial, it has no mechanical, plus, but it's just about knowing that we did it. If you push the slider, it's set underneath.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
So
that's not easy to achieve either.
For sure.
Yeah, we're the first ones to do this, and the idea is that we have 8 baguettes hidden in the case constantly.
Matt, if you can get a close-up of this. So there are no minute repeaters that will ever showcase diamond set behind. Usually this will end up being an empty space. I've never seen this done before. Here's my hot take and why I think timing is actually, I think you guys came into the market at the perfect timing, because we are living in an era of hype, right? I'm not gonna mention other brands, but plenty of brands out there are capitalizing on the hype aspect of things. But I think that the market in general, the watch collectors in general, are starting to wake up a little bit. They're starting to understand high horology, for one. They're starting to understand the value behind things like finishes. Like literally, who finishes the back of their dials, right? But it's knowing that concept. It's knowing that that's the kind of value you're gonna get with a watch like this. Collectors are starting to slowly wake up and understand that we're going to get away from hype a little bit. We're going to go back into high horology. People are going to start appreciating things like a tourbillon. When I started in the industry, if you were anybody, if you didn't have a tourbillon, you were a nobody, right? Especially you're talking about the Russian markets back in the day, new money kind of thing. It wasn't about a watch that's super duper popular. It was about the high horology. It was about having a tourbillon. That was the ultimate goal. It was about having the minute repeater.
Started the interview with 𝗙𝗵𝗲𝗄𝗏, the son of Jean-Claude Biver. He has a brother whose name is Philippe. They're both involved. I love the fact that this is a family business, but of course, it was time for the main event. And that would be Jean-Claude Biver himself, whose personality is bigger than the world.
Here's the man himself. Such a pleasure to meet you, sir.
My pleasure also. Hello.
Good to see you.
Good to see you again. I got some wine.
Very spontaneous.
That's okay. That's okay. That's perfectly fine.
Okay, so we're gonna drink, and you cannot leave before the bottle is empty.
It's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good. It's going to be a good day.
That's good. All right. I see how you roll. Okay.
Just to let you know, guys, it was about 9:30 a.m. But as they say, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, right?
So what I was saying is, again, I think that we're going to see the market gravitate towards pieces such as this. Again, we're playing in a different price range, right? But we're going to get away from people that are willing to pay a price just because of something they cannot get versus actually getting a value for the money. And to me, the value in every single watch I've ever seen has always been in the horology rather than how popular the watch is or who is wearing it.
But I believe that when you reach perfection in your tool, in your product, in your job, in whatever, in your education, when you reach perfection, which is impossible, but when you reach what is possible to reach as a perfection, then and only then you start to touch eternity. And eternity is born through perfection. And as long as you have not reached perfection, don't expect eternity to be on your side. Eternity only opens to you when you have mastered all the invisible elements of your philosophy or of your tool or of your product. And this invisibility which you have mastered, other people cannot see because they are just people and normal.
Yeah.
I just got goosebumps. I just got goosebumps.
No, but it's a different. It's
And
it's
that's
funny.
what I'm looking for.
Phil says it, and then Phil says it a lot all the time because I love the SR71 Blackbird. It's like at this level, it's a different type of air. It's a different type of just a situation, right? It's not the same. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Now we have to take a piece of
sounds good. Thank you.
cheese.
Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Cheers, cheers.
Cheers.
So we are now in Chile.
You're not.
I started this video
Wow.
talking about the
Wow.
most exclusive cheese in the world, and now we're eating it with some Chilean wine.
Wow, that's very good.
It's good, huh?
Mastering the invisible. He perfected the cheese making to a level where you cannot not see it, you cannot understand why, but
the taste,
the taste
yeah.
reflects it.
It's funny.
Wow.
It's people talk about you in regards to what you've done in the industry, now the new watches, and then they finish, and then there's the cheese. Don't forget the cheese.
But I think something that's really most important of all, and that you can really feel kind of in the way we are, is that ultimately this is really about the human experience. It's about the humans we share with. It's about being easy, being honest, being transparent, being very conscious about what we do right, what we do wrong, how we evolve. You know, for these dial animations, we said it, and it's even in our press release. We didn't do something groundbreaking. We changed the dial. So yeah, it's a beautiful dial. It's guilloché on stone. But ultimately, let's come back to a watchmaking space where you have this sort of transparency and honesty towards especially collectors and the community, where don't take everybody for a fool. Be honest. Yes, it's a very expensive watch. Yes, the design is not necessarily up to everybody's taste, but it's a vision. It has its own qualities. It's meant to be here for a reason. It was created with an intention. And this is the most important, and about it, the importance is our watchmakers, the people who realize it, our engineers who think about the details, us that give the vision and where we want to helm the brand.
Exclusivity is great. You guys have achieved that, and I think that you're at the right place at the right time because I think the market is going to finally start understanding that the value isn't how it was made, who's behind the brand, what's inside, even the stone setting, right? I mean, all those things, people tend to look past today because in their mind, they see dollar signs first and they see the timepiece second.
where we need to change that and go back to what the watch world used to be. It was about complications, it was about how it's made, and that's really it. First of all, I want to thank you for having me. It's an honor sitting at the same table with you, eating your cheese and drinking some wine. Amazing timepieces. I can't wait to see what's in store in the future. Guys, I said this last year and I'll say it again. I stand behind these watches 100%. I think these are absolutely amazing. And what a great time. Again, going back to the basics. We sit down, we eat cheese, we drink wine, and we talk about some of the finest watches I have seen thus far in Geneva. Thank you.
And let me
Thank you very much.
you for having said what nobody said to me ever with my own brand, never, and also not with the other brands. I stand behind you. If you stand behind me, I cannot fall.
Behind comes from the French, not.
I understand. I understand.
I cannot fall down because you stand behind me. You know, when you are going up the mountains, it's the guy that stands behind you that protects you and gives you security and gives you courage. Bravo. Thank you very much.
Thank you. What an absolutely amazing time to see that type of passion. No wonder this man is a legend in our industry. No wonder he has so many notches in his belt in regards to achievements in this industry. And of course, we ended up going back because meeting a man like Jean-Claude Biver is an opportunity of a lifetime. And of course, Nico wanted to do the same.
Thank you for having
Okay.
us. Really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
What are you looking at? Get away from me.
Cheers, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, welcome. Thank you very much for your friendship.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
What the fuck is that sound?
Rough night yesterday.
Can you do me a favor? Can you let him hear the minute repeater on top of the table? You know, you might want to get this on your phone. Nico, listen.
Amazing, huh?
Amazing.
Fantastic.
It is fantastic. The most famous cheese in the
Cheese.
world. The most famous cheese in the world.
and exclusive cheese.
Yes. When the slider goes up, you see blank space. Watch this.
That's amazing, my friend.
It's still set in
good, huh?
stone. Like you don't see this. You don't see this. This is one of the prototype cases that they're doing with emeralds and diamonds. And
This guy is funny.
so this shows
Your phone.
just true horology, right? You're talking about no frills. I mean, mind you, the dial is amazing, right? But for the most part, the concentration is on the tourbillon. It is on the minute repeater. It's about showing pure watchmaking at its best. And this is one of the top minute repeaters I've ever heard. For all you people out there that are talking crap about the price tag and all that stuff, it's worth every single penny.
And his favorite watch, Hublot.
Never say that again. Awkward conversation here.
Very awkward. A bit awkward with Nico in the room, sitting next to Jean-Claude Biver. All the shit he's been talking about Hublot, and that's the man responsible for Hublot. He was responsible for making Hublot what it is today. Let's just say Nico didn't have much to say about Hublot in this particular instance.
With the new releases, kind of put more people towards our side. Altogether, then there's the community, and then there's the market.
Yeah.
On the market, because of the quality of the product, we can really introduce it, speak on it, and clients are really receptive.
The attention as well.
People start to understand and people start to be confident. In the beginning, in the first year, nobody really commits. Because people say, let's wait, let's see next year, I cannot order now. Now we are the second year only. But already people are confirming, not everybody, people are confirming, and we feel there is some admiration for our job. Because the whole job consists in creating waves of quality. If quality only speaks to your eyes, that's not enough.
Yeah.
Quality must speak to the eyes, but through the eyes, it must go into your blood. And the blood in the heart comes and goes. And then you say, wow, there is a feeling of quality. I don't know where, I don't know how, but there is quality in the air.
It plays with all the senses that a human has.
That is what I personally am looking for. If I cannot give you this sensation at the end of my life, I better die now.
Being in this man's presence is just, it's unbelievable. And I hope you guys got at least some of that experience on camera. Certainly sitting down with Jean-Claude Biver, after a bottle of wine especially, was an amazing experience. Guys, as always, like, comment, share, subscribe, and stay tuned. Tomorrow we're going to drop another expert from Geneva, which will be another legendary interview that I hope you guys will enjoy as much as you did this one.